Hello everyone, it is Teacher Sally. Today's video is going to be about how to read key signatures. If you take a close look at the music that you are learning right now, you would usually see that at the very beginning of your music, as well as every single line, the beginning of every single line of music, there you will see some sharps or flats being marked, and we call this the key signature. Through reading the key signature, you would get information about what notes need to be sharp or flat in the music. So here's an example from long ago. Actually, both the first line and the second line sound exactly the same, even though they are marked or notated in a different way. The first one, in the beginning, you don't see any sharp or flat, and therefore, in order to make it sound the way long ago should sound like, we have to mark all the sharp in the music, like the C sharps and the F sharps. However, with the key signatures, it will make the music look much cleaner and more readable to the players because all the sharp and flat, all the notes that need those sharp and flat is indicated at the very beginning, and therefore it will be less clumsy for us, the player, when we perform it while reading the music. Here's two examples. The first one is a sharp key and the second one is a flat key. So in order to read this key signature, we can first find out what notes will be sharped. For example, here, usually if you see a note head fall on the first line of staff, we call it an F sharp, right? So similarly, if you see a sharp on top of this line, we call this an F sharp. And then this will be a C sharp, and this will be a G sharp. While for the flat key, usually on this line, if you see a note head fall on this line, we call it a B. And therefore, this would be a B flat, this is an E flat, and this is an A flat. So what exactly does that mean? Is that if you see a sharp on here, the first line of the staff, it means all the F need to be an F sharp. And it doesn't just include the F that is on this line, but all the notes that named F in the music would be an F sharp. Similarly, if you see a B flat in a key signature, all the B, not just the B on this line, but all the B in the music would be a B flat. Here's an example about why is it so important to play according to what the key signature indicate. So the first line, we see the key signature, and this is a tune from Go Tell Aunt Rhody. With the key signature, it would sound like this. Which is just perfect. Everything sounds just like Go Tell Aunt Rhody. However, even if the notes are the same, without the key signature, all the sharps will be gone, and it will sound like something totally different in our ear if we play it. Right? So it's very important, if you want to play the right notes and the right tune, we need to follow the key signature. In total, we have actually 15 different key signatures. It looks very overwhelming, but there are ways to remember what this key signature represents. And each of these key signatures could represent two different keys, one minor and one major key. Let's take this as an example. With three sharps, we call it either an A major or a F sharp minor. And then with no sharp and flat at all, we call this a C major or an A minor. So how do we make up all this name for the key signature? We're going to talk about it in the next slide. If you see three sharps, and if you start playing a scale up on the A, you would find that you could play a very perfect A major key, an A major scale. For example, this is how the first one sounds like, with 3 sharps in the key signature and starting at the note A. And then, if you have 3 sharps in the key signature and start playing from the F sharp, then play by step and form a scale, it will sound exactly like the F sharp minor, which is like this. Right? And that is how we come up with the name A major or F sharp minor for a key signature that has 3 sharps. And this will apply to all the other key signature that you see. So now let's try to practice how to apply the reading of key signature into actual playing. This is Mei song. By looking at the beginning, the Mei song has 3 sharps, which is the F sharp, C sharp, and the G sharp, which mean in this music, all the F, C, and G has to be a sharp. Now let's take 30 seconds. You could pause the video, take 30 seconds to find out all the notes that in the sharp and circle them. This is the answer. Because we have 3 sharps, we will have a C sharp and F sharp all over the places. All the C and F would be C sharp and F sharp. And to play, all the C here would be a high 2, while all the F here would be a high 1. To play a high 2, you need to make sure that your second finger sticks with your third finger. And to play a high 1, you need to make sure that the first finger will stick with your low 2 second finger, and it's not like all the way to the top. So to show you in the video, this is how a high 2 look like, and that's how a high 1 look like. The high 1 will be parallel to the places, the finger where you play the B. They will be parallel like this. So high 1 and high 2. And then to play, it will sound like this. That's Mei's song, and that's how we read key signature and apply it to actual playing. So I hope this video will help and wish you all a happy practice.